Welcome back. So, we were talking about the different types of necrosis. The next type that we are going to talk about is gaseous necrosis. It is a mixture of coagulative necrosis and liquefactive necrosis. Okay, and typically it results from mycobacterial or fungal infection. So, what happens in the caseous necrosis is that the dead or the necrotic cells they disintegrate, but they are not totally digested, and it gives the mixture of the dead kind of tissue a cheese-like consistency. Okay, and that's what we call caseous. Okay, caseous necrosis is where the dead tissue that is not completely dead, but the disintegrated tissue becomes a cheese like. Okay, it gives a cheese like appearance, and that's why it's named caseous necrosis. The next type is the fat necrosis. I already have talked that I have written this in very simple language and we can understand it by even reading it. So in fat necrosis, there is this trauma to the fatty organs which consist of a lot of adipose tissue such as pancreas, breast. This trauma ruptures the adipose cell membrane which make them to spill their fatty acids into the extracellular space. And then what happens that there the fatty acids can combine with calcium and lead to dystrophic calcification, and that looks like a you know chalk-like tissue. It gives a chalk-like consistency to that you know broken fatty tissue, and that is commonly seen in the pancreas, as in case of acute pancreatitis or chronic pancreatitis. Okay, where the lipase activate in the tissue and digest the fat and cause fatty acid to spill out of the pancreas. So fibrinoid necrosis is the last type of necrosis that we are going to discuss here. Okay, and in fibrinoid necrosis, what happens is that there is, it is almost always associated with malignant hypertension and vasculitis, where there is injury to the endothelial cells of the blood vessels, and that makes it possible for the fibrin, our fibrinogen, is a plasma protein, and that infiltrate the damaged vessel walls and deposit there. And when we see the necrotic tissue under the microscope, we see the fibrin deposits there, and so the name comes from that appearance, fibrinoid necrosis. Okay, that's all.